Hi, this is Monika Proffitt of The Profit Show, where we talk about all things culture and crypto. I'm here with Adryenn Ashley, the author of Minting the Future and investor and innovator in the blockchain space. Also, dear friend of mine. Adryenn, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
I know this is going to be awesome. We were just like kind of brainstorming. What should we be talking about? What are we going to talk about? Like we have like a long list, but we're trying to pare it down, keeping to things like Minting the Future. Awesome book. Love that you've been doing that. And also just mainstream adoption. I mean, we both published books. We both want to see this space grow. So tell me what got you into it and what have you been doing lately to just grow user adoption in general?
Well, so I got in 2009, just like didn't know anything and was asked because I was doing business consulting if I would take Bitcoin as payment instead of cash. And I went, what's Bitcoin? Now, I'm always one that likes to be on the bleeding edge, and it was an hour of my time. So I'm like, sure, no problem, of course. And as I'm, slaving through launching a terminal window on a Macintosh and typing in commands that I don't understand and downloading files, I have no idea what they are or where they landed on my desktop. And I only wrote down one set of numbers. I did not know anything, was not prepared. It wasn't for a couple of years later that I literally realized what I had done. And unfortunately, at that point, I had given that computer away. So it's gone forever. But that was when 2012 when I really started getting into it full time. And really for me, the basis of this noodling idea generation was what could happen? What could I build with an unfuckwithable ledger of what actually happened? Literally, that's what I tried to explain to people, right? They're like, I don't understand tech. I don't understand blockchain. It's too complicated. I'm like, you use email every day. You don't know how it works. Stop it. It's all about the user interface and the benefit to the consumer, the benefit to the mainstream person who's using it, right? We went from CDs to DVDs very easily because the form factor was familiar, right? So in order to drive mainstream adoption, we can't be like, go download this and 26 hexadecimal private and public keys. And this is a wallet, but don't lose your shit, because if you lose your shit, it's gone forever and there's nobody that can save you. And we have literally programmed society into it's never your fault and someone can always save you. So we have to slowly baby step everything back to personal responsibility and self-reliance, because it's your keys, your money, right? So we have to slowly integrate that. But at the same time, there has to be a bridge. And for me, that bridge is things like like Foolproof, which is like the Norton antivirus for web wallets. So it translates that muck of code that's like, sign this message. I'm like, that's not a freaking message. That's literally code into you're about to send ETH to a scammer instead of you're about to mint an NFT. It's like, oh, yeah, I definitely don't want to send ETH to a scammer. I really wanted to mint an NFT, but clearly I'm on the wrong website. Okay, got it. Little things like that, right? Insurance, trapeze nets, extra little guidance, hand holding, adult supervision. These are the kinds of protocols and projects that I think for the next year or two are really going to skyrocket, because in order to get the user adoption we need, we can't there's only so many people we can drag into learning how Web3 works under the hood. We have to start bringing them opportunities to use it over the hood.
Over the hood. Exactly. Right out of the box. Absolutely. I was just talking this morning with a friend of mine overseas, and I was saying, blockchain is the nexus of two things that scare women the most, that women are the most reticent about. Investing and all that riskiness. There's all this money stuff. They're like, well, I'm going to be, very conservative, not going to take big risks there. And technology, which is so opaque, and there's not very many women represented in just general technology. So between those two, you find two ways, no matter which way you come at it, it's going to be not really where women are going to flock to, because it's just not it seems too risky and it seems too opaque. Now, if you can de-risk it, you can show people what it is, you give them the use cases, you say, here's the benefit, and here's exactly how it's going to benefit you. Not even how it exactly works, just here's how it's going to make your life better. That's where we're going to get like new user adoption, whether it's women or it's anybody else who's just reticent and they're not going to be an early adopter. We're kind of getting to that place, right? Where it's not the early adoption time forever. And we probably have another couple years, but I'm sorry, but when you see institutional money coming in to blockchain investment alone, definitely we're going to see more and more normal people going, okay, I don't think it's going to be so scary, right?
We need to stop telling them how it's built. That would be literally like marketing your project and say it's on PHP 7.2. And they're like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Well, that's the whole point. We don't tell them that in Web 2, right? We give them the benefits. So here's a great benefit, right? So everybody's talking about digital ID, digital ID. Some people like it, some people don't like it. It depends on the digital ID. Again, those are conversations, but let me just give you the use case.
Yeah.
I, in California, I had Kaiser Permanente. Kaiser uses Epic as their back end. Then I moved to Nevada, where I had Renown. Renown uses Epic as their back end. That's like their, the EHR, the
That's a
electronic.
potato, not even potato. You
That
know?
is a potato. That is absolutely potato. However, I could not move my records from one state to the next state. I could not move them from one institution to another institution. If I wanted them, it was paper records that then they would have to transcribe. Now with the ID piece coming in and you get the right one, right? Like there's a few. I'm really trying hard not to pimp, but you can literally log in, suck your medical records in, which are then yours, which you can then use to participate in virtual clinical trials or
suck your medical records into. Are you talking about an application for an NFT technology that makes it in your wallet? You have your stuff. Do you know how many times I have chased down my records? I've gone from this hospital over here to take it over to that clinic there, and then they go to this doctor and they say, oh, but I actually literally saw an allergist last week, and they were like, oh yeah, if you could get us those records from that other my chart, we still have my chart, but it was a different my chart with this other institution, can you go back to them and then take from there? And I'm like, if I could just plug in and say, like my browser extension goes, I'm gonna log into my chart, every single one of them, and just pull and pull and pull and have my stuff. I mean, it's just my body.
You can, exactly, right? And so you pull it in, then you can log into your new one and you can say, I'm going to give you access to my data so that you have it so we don't typo, right? Because I'm very fond of saying that people can't spell, me included, and I typo, and depending on how long my nails are, it could be bad. So you don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. You want to be able to centralize the ownership of your data is yours. It's your information. So you should have it. So these are the kinds of things where, like with your allergist, right? Well, say you had all of that in there. They could maybe figure out some kind of a correlation where, oh, you drink this particular type of soy milk, and that's actually going to exacerbate it, right? Like you never know. That's what I'm saying. Like these are the kinds of things that when you can aggregate your own health records and your own data, that with the advent of AI, which now nobody's as afraid of AI anymore because ChatGPT is so freaking awesome. And I cannot even tell you, I absolutely love it. I am now actually training one for a client, and I'm having it read all the books. I'm teaching it the personality. I used the embedded code base for the therapeutic process, and I'm teaching it to be a sober companion. And I did it in ChatGPT myself, but that was not able to be commercially viable into a bot. I was just training it in my little portal. And I was like, now how do I extract that? And I can't. So now there is a tool where I can actually do it again. It only took me 4 hours, do it again, and then give it a personality. And actually, I think I'm going to replicate it and give it like 3 or 4 different personalities. So you can determine how you like to be talked to, right? Like who's your friend? Which one do you want to be your friend? Right.
And then it's sort of like your GPS, where it's like, do you want a British man or do you want, like a bossy woman? How do you want to be told where to go?
Oh, let me tell you, I did the Aussie man, hot, sexy. Yeah, I did that for my Siri, hot, sexy. Yeah. By the way, you
want to be told which way to go by that guy.
I do. I will do whatever he says. However, he also gives me the wrong dates because they have different holidays. And I'm like, no, I just wanted to change the voice. I didn't want to change that I am in the United States.
Right. Oh, small tweaks. We need some small tweaks in that.
Little small tweaks, right? So this is the opportunity that's out there for, just about everyone, right? When you're thinking about, Web3, don't think of it as scary. Think of it as an opportunity to more deeply engage with your audience, right? So say you're a small business, right? Let's do local businessing. That was one of the things that Foursquare was so good at, right? And when I first left San Francisco and moved to Reno, the first 2.5 years, nobody knew because I kept coming home. I would drop my kid off. I'd fly, drive back down to Marin, drop my kid off and fly out of San Francisco every time I had a trip. Well, before and after I would fly, I would go back and establish my mayorship at all of those different places, which were the top restaurants in all of the San Francisco Bay Area, because I'm a foodie. So I was still the mayor for years, even after I had left.
That is
Foursquare,
great.
really good things, and then not doing it anymore. There's an opportunity here, because the other piece is when I would walk through the mall, it would push notify me and go, Payless Shoe Stores, buy one, get one free. And I'm literally walking, I'm in
You're
front of
like,
this.
wait, I
I'm
didn't
like,
need
wait,
that tempting thing. I didn't need that to be told that twice. I'm on my way. Yeah.
I like, and here I go, right? I'm at least going to get my body in the thing. Well, you can actually do that. There's all of these things that you can do with Web3 that are even better, because how
Yeah,
many
tell me
times
like the Payless Shoe Source analogy, how that could be better. Because right now I'm just thinking they got the shoes, they got the
it
sale,
could be better. It could be better. It could be better. Well, they don't do that anymore. Like nobody, it's not even being done. So
Right,
that needs to be reintegrated. But when it comes to loyalty points, like how many times have you accidentally let loyalty points expire?
right.
I don't want my
I
loyalty
want to
points.
have my loyalty points in my NFT wallet just a lot right next in the next file over next to all my health records. I want all my loyalty points, right?
I want all my loyalty points, right? So these are the kinds of things that I'm saying. Like, think of it like you have an iPhone, you have a wallet, right? You have all the things in there that are a wallet. Well, you can do the exact same kind of thing, but in a digital ID, blockchain verified, that only you can use, right? So it reduces the ability for people to take stuff from you, because they can't get it out of your wallet without you, like biometrically without you. Like there's a whole, it's much more safe and secure. We do have to onboard people, and that's why I think some of these like couponing things and loyalty things, one of the things I was doing is the last minute beauty bookings, like subscriptions for that. I mean, seriously, I broke, okay, here it again, I don't know if you can see it. I chipped a nail. I chipped a nail
Oh,
right before I was going to a wedding. Right. And I'm like, okay, had I actually finished the pop right in last minute beauty bookings, which I literally came up with for a hackathon. It's like I had to learn Flutter and this and like all this other tech stuff, and like it didn't happen. But I go to hackathons because I don't know what tools people are using right now, and if I know, then I know who to introduce people to, and it allows me to ideate better of what's possible, right?
right.
So that's why. But last minute beauty bookings, it would have been great if I could have popped that in and said, I need my nails done in 25 minutes. Where can I go? And that was the same idea with, kids eat free. My kid just said he's hungry. If I say I'm hungry, just for FYI
There's like
reference.
not very long until you're hangry. Like hungry and hangry are just very close bedfellows.
Yes, it is 5 minutes before someone could possibly die. And I would get off with a Twinkie defense. Absolutely. Oh my God. Like, slight little tangent. I saw a video the other day that apparently somebody on eBay is selling Twinkie makers, like waffle makers, where you can go.
What? I did not need to know that.
Nobody
I did
needs
not
to,
need to know that. Why did you tell me this?
because I don't want to be the only one. Not that I'm not. A million people saw. I don't want to be alone in this. Having,
Thank
I
you.
need I need other people to share my desire that I'm like, I'm not gonna get a Twinkie maker. I'm not gonna get a
I'm not
Twinkie
gonna.
maker.
I already had to go through this with donut makers when those were available, and now you do this to me.
I'm
If you, I
sorry.
listen, do not bring it up. If there's like a ho ho maker, although that would be an amazing like birthday gift, wouldn't it? Like, here's your ho ho maker. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think that would be good. Send it to your favorite ho friends. But anyway, I don't need to know if there's like
That would be something I would do.
right.
I totally would. I totally would. So the idea here for mainstream consumer adoption is that there are a lot of different things that you can do. Now, way back when, like 35 years ago, during one of the older recessions, my mom was, she had a job, and she every time they would go through layoffs, she would just get smaller, smaller. So I ended up doing small business consulting, right? And I would move them from paper and pencil onto a computer, right? I had done this
Oh,
for the Santa
that's huge.
Fe, right? I moved their accounting off of a handwritten ledger onto an accounting program software. I literally like organized all of those business processes
Oh my god.
in order to free up the support staff so they could support the salesperson. So the salesperson just had to sell. Everybody I did this for, they stayed flat. Some of them even went up. Now, this is the exact same circumstance that we're at here. Whatever you're doing now in your business, whatever processes you're using, however you are actually organizing everything, you want to be in a position where you can streamline that, automate that in such a way that, you know, there's you just press a button and it's like there's all your things. And if you go, well, that number doesn't look right, you go back, you look at the transaction and figure it out, correct it, press it again, boom, it's done. This would solve $20 million a year for Sarbanes-Oxley reporting for public companies. But think about small businesses. When you can automate all of those processes, right? You don't have to get rid of anybody, you upskill. This is the thing, right? So AI is not going to take your job. It's not going to take other people's jobs. It's going to be the people who know how to use it. So you can literally have your team learning AI tools that are going to speed everything up, that are like contract production.
Right.
Mail merge is what we got right now, right? Mail merge. However, what if you could get it from the point of they filled out the web form, they've made the payment, and it automatically takes all of that, puts it into a DocuSign, sends them the DocuSign, they sign it, triggers that the DocuSign has been returned, and then sends them the onboarding appointment calendar booking thing to onboard them and sends them their welcome package.
Yep.
Like you're not anything, right? Most small businesses don't have that. That's a very manual process. But
It's a very manual process. There are so many manual processes. I mean, when people get frightened about AI taking jobs, I'm like, well, we've already faced this. What's going to happen to all the laundresses with the invention of the washing machine? I mean, those laundresses they're going to be out of work. What's going to happen? Well, so it turns out they got free from from doing laundry, and now they get to be doctors and lawyers and innovators and technologists and engineers. But no, the laundresses really should have stayed and kept those jobs. You know, we shouldn't have gotten that whole machinery involved. You know, I think It's just, we're going to have a better society for all of this. We just don't understand it quite yet. And people get afraid of new things. You know, that's just the fact. If you can't keep people in a state of not being afraid, they're not going to take in new information. They shut down, you know?
And I think of it like, you know, I walk through the world with this curiosity, and I love learning, and I love, you know, I try to learn something new every day, try to have my mind blown every day by like, oh my God, I didn't even know that was possible. Right. And just think about and focus on discovering something that's possible, discovering something that's new and exciting and relevant every day. And you're going to watch those things start to appear in your life way more often. And I can prove it. So when I was 20, actually, when I was 18, I sold cars, right? And when I was 20, I bought a Honda Accord, a 4-door champagne Honda Accord. Now, I had never seen this car before. I had an older one, but this one, oh my God, it was like the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I felt like a princess driving it. It was just, oh my God, I love this car. And I drove off the lot, and then all of a sudden it was everywhere. Not only was it everywhere, it was so everywhere I would lose my car in the parking lot. And then I found out it was the best selling, best color, best year in the United States, and also the most stolen car in the United States.
Oh, that's right. I remember that with Toyotas and Hondas, the most stolen car was the Accord. Yep.
Car was the Accord. So, but prior to me seeing this car, I didn't even know it existed. So I never saw it. Then I saw it everywhere. So this is the whole thing. If you can't see it, you can't be it, right? It's kind of like if you don't know things exist, then you don't know what potential they could have for you. And this is the biggest thing in Web3. And this is part of what Minting the Future is doing, is really like making it fun. And it's a fun, interactive kind of like get people to experience things that aren't scary, that are fun. And then they go, really? Oh my God. And then all of a sudden they're open to more, and then open to more, and then open to more. And that's the whole idea, is just be open to it. Like, could you imagine if you were still writing letters and sending them through the mail and buying stamps? Do you know how long it's been since I bought stamps? Like I literally, and the post office was genius at this. They literally went, oh shit, we keep changing the pricing structure, right? We're just going to make forever stamps.
Yep. Forever stamps.
Because literally I used to buy stamps, 100 stamps.
And then the 3-cent stamps to put up next to it. And then another 3-cent stamp. And if it went by 5 cents, you had to get a 2-cent stamp, or you were overpaying.
But the thing is, people, and actually what was awesome, stamps.com. Here's a little promo tip for all of you business owners out there, especially you book authors. Stamps.com, you can actually custom make stamps. So I literally went to the post office with my packaging, with my book, said, how much is this? Boom, got the price. Then I custom ordered a whole bunch of stamps with my book as the stamp.
And that is cool.
media and the editors. So there you go. Just a
That
little,
is very little
yeah.
tip for the authors out there. That's fantastic. I love this. Well, it's great to talk about more mainstream user adoption. We need it. We need educators doing it. I mean, that's why I've made my course Crypto Confident. Same thing. We just need people to learn about this, and we need to make it not scary. I was working on the branding for Crypto Confident. I will say, just a quick as an aside, I was working on the branding, and I ran it by one of my friends, and he was like, everybody always does glitzy digital. Like, just do warmth. I mean, look at what you have in your own Zoom background. It's like plants and books and home. And I was like, so it should be like, would you like a vase with that Bitcoin? It's like basically home decor is like the theme I'm going with. And it's
That's actually
hilarious. It's
really,
almost campy. It's really fun to be like, let's just make Bitcoin part of your living room design, you know? So
I actually love that. And I think you're gonna attract an audience that's gonna absolutely love that.
the mainstream people, right? People that want to see like well-designed plants and books and bookshelves and mid-century design. I'm like all about it. I want to look at that. Why not? Let's just like combine that with the Ethereum mainnet. It's fine. We'll just figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. You just do an architectural, an architectural brochure and then
The
just read.
architectural digest of like crypto.
There we go. There we go. And me, on the other hand, I'm dishing out NFTs here for NFT drinks at the After Dark version
I
of.
love it. I love it. You're slinging drinks back there. Well, Adryenn, it has been such a pleasure having you on. I'm so glad you could make the time and just kind of give us some overview. I can't wait to take a deeper dive into some of your projects and a future Profit show. It's just great to have you, and it's great to see you, especially in your like, it's daytime here, but it's clearly nighttime there. So wherever you are, you're doing great. You look fantastic. So,
Thank you.
well, thank you again, and I'll catch you next time on the Profit Show. Take care, everybody.